So, hello, Zakk.
What a chapter!
What a chapter.
What a chapter.
You know what's funny about this chapter?
Go on.
It takes us back to the beginning of One Piece, and it reminds me of the beginning of my journey. I was invited to a live stream. A lot of high-profile people were there, and one of them might be in our midst right now. Hey, Zakk, look over there.
Huh.
Hello. It's me. It's Dak. For those who don't know, I'm Dak Sake. I'm normally on YouTube, so I know we're on Twitch and TikTok. So you guys may not even know who I am currently. But maybe one day I'll start uploading to those more often. But I do a lot of One Piece theories, and as Holy Pete, am I saying that right? I know we just talked about this. Polypede.
Just roll with it. It feels natural. Yeah.
Polypede.
Yes.
There we go. I got to get it right, guy. Look, I won the spelling bee when I was in 7th grade. And ever since, I'm like, I gotta pronounce and spell everything correctly.
You have won 100% more spelling bees than I have. So.
It is. If you go to my Instagram, my bio says I won the spelling bee in 7th grade. That's how proud I am of that moment. But I do a lot of One Piece theories on YouTube. If you guys have heard about Pluton the Mole, that is from me. One Piece is an Afro. That's also an original from my channel. So,
you're the originator of Afro Piece.
Yes. Yep, Afro Piece and Mole Piece.
I am standing amongst royalty.
Oh man, I love that, man. The Afro is so close to my heart, man. That's I love the Mole theory is so special, and I'm super excited for that to get revealed, but. The One Piece, that's going to be at the very end. That's that's the big kahuna. You know what I'm saying? So if that ends up being it, man, the Afro, and also Brooke's my favorite character. So it's just, even if I'm wrong, until I am wrong, I love the theory. So
I have been standing Afro Piece for about a year now, ever since that video came up. Oh my God. I love it so much.
Good.
Oh, I love that, man. And it's funny because I have even some more evidence for it. I would say the best evidence has already been spoken about in my videos, but I have some more that I'm going to be putting on my second channel. Because there's a lot of importance with hair and afros in One Piece. The Beaver cards are made from keratin, hair or nails. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff. So
what I love about it most is just the fact that most One Piece theories are so self-serious. They're like, oh, it's got to be the key to the world. It's going to be a bottle of sake. It needs to be stupid.
Yep.
It has to be stupid, or else it doesn't make sense. It needs to make me laugh.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's why the Roger pirates laughed. When Roger laughed, that. To me, when that moment happened, my entire opinion on the One Piece changed. I'm like, okay, I gotta stop thinking so serious. I gotta stop thinking about the dangers of the Void Century and the world government and all that. I gotta think about what is funny and meaningful to the story that would be worth finding. That's really what it's about. What's gonna make you laugh, but could also provide an important function. That was my whole mindset. So I love that you said that, because I'm the same way. Whenever people say, they could be right, but when people say, oh, it's a button to destroy the red line, or it's a button to make the poles swap, I'm like, well, it could be, but they laughed. It's got to be something else, right? So totally agree.
Yeah, it's the big theory of Luffy's dream. Oh, it's to throw the world's biggest party. That's not stupid enough. Think stupider.
Yeah, which the biggest party will probably happen.
Yeah, oh, yeah, definitely.
But is that Luffy's MO? I don't think so. It's just going to happen because it happens, right?
Yeah.
Speaking of the biggest party, Hachinosu has some esteemed guests. Or I guess we should start with Yamato.
Yeah, we can.
We all know what we want to talk about.
Yeah,
but let's give Yamato 2 seconds, just because.
I like the cover story. I like where it's going. I want to see what happens at the end. I love that she loves Garfield. That's great. Anything
Garfield. My 2 cents on this, and I've said this for the last few chapters, is look, I'm really pumped for this cover story. There's a lot that Oda could do with it. Starting with Onigashima in the water was insane.
Yeah.
But dude, we're this is the 7th installment, and Yamato is not like out of the capital yet. Like what the heck, dude? It took 3 or 4, chapters, whatever pages, whatever, to get out of the building, and now Yamato is getting gifted gifts and saying hi to people that she just saw. You know, like Hyogoro and Nekomamushi are not like old friends that have been gone for a long time. Like, you know, like
we just saw
Oda,
them
let's
a
go.
year ago.
Yeah, like Oda, let's go. Like Yamato needs to go to like Curry or these other places, you know, and start doing stuff. So love the cover story, just don't love this edition of it.
I need to see how Okabore is doing now that we have a new Shogun.
True.
I need to know how Leftovers is doing, man.
I want Yamato to go to like a river and fish a fish and it not be poisonous.
Yeah, now that
anymore.
Everything is better because of Green Bull.
Yep. All the well, yeah. Well, it would be cool if Yamato went to where Green Bull was walking and just made a mental note, like, "Oh wow, it looks way nicer on this side," or you know, there's something.
Or maybe it's the other way around, where now nature has returned too powerfully, and people are having to struggle to deal with, you know, the wildlife coming out in force. Mm-hmm. Maybe a giant boar, a giant pig that Yamato has to fight.
The mountain god, the mountain god's kid, the baby boar coming back.
About the baby,
that's headcanon. That's happening in this cover story, like 100%. Yamato is finding, because that is the same idea as Skypiea with Nola and the one above it, because there was like the Kashigami, and then like it had a kid, and then it had a kid that was Nola. So it's like the same kind of story where like, well, actually the mountain god didn't actually die, that even though it got cut in half, it got repaired. which makes no sense. I mean, hey, you know, it's One Piece, but you know, obviously the snakes died, but then the baby ended up mattering more in the future. So we're gonna get that same thing. I love that you brought that up. I never even thought about that.
Also, I would love it if Yamato had like a entourage like Odin did, but she like abandons them at the end. So like I'm thinking maybe what's her name? Ulti page 1.
Yeah.
Jack maybe. And then
don't get me started about page 1, man. Don't get me started. That's one of my least favorite characters in One Piece.
Really?
But because he's pointless.
Yeah.
Because he's on the
potential, but he's tremendously wasted.
You look at dude, the pine cones. Remember Usopp with the exploding pine cones?
True.
Like page 1 fought Sanji in the raid suit and like didn't take any damage whenever they were fighting. Like he was still standing, and Sanji's even like, dang, he's durable. But then you go to the raid, and like the exploding pine cones knock him off of the Koma Inu, whatever the dog's name, whatever the lion thing.
I guess that's what you get when you sleep on Usopp.
Yeah,
Let's go!
Yeah, Usopp stocks way up. And I mean, I'm not saying Sanji stocks are down, because they're way up in my opinion, ever since that moment pretty much. But yeah, so sorry to go off on a tangent. I agree with you though about like Yamato getting maybe page 1 and ulti, or just even like new scabbards, right?
Yeah.
Like, because that, yeah, like it could just be new people, like exactly what Odin did. And here's the thing. Remember when Odin went around and got his scabbards, and then after he got them, that's kind of what let him leave with Whitebeard, because his scabbards like held it down for him. Yeah, obviously, you know, Orochi and Kaido did their thing, but like they held it down as much as they could in the meantime. I think Yamato's going to think the same thing. Like, oh, I got these people who are following me now. I can leave now because there's some strong people helping Momo.
And then she'll give.
And then the Odin pirates, baby.
Yeah. But I think that'll be a gift to Momonosuke, because like Momonosuke is in a better position. He's weird because he's like both Odin and Kaido, you know.
Yep.
So
Oh, I love you said that. Yes, he is.
So it's like you're leaving Wano in better hands because you have a Kaido in a way protecting Wano as a deterrent, as the previous Kaido did. But it's a good thing because you also have the rightful heir to Odin there. I would love Jack and know what Jack's real name is, because that's a code name.
True. I mean, well, knowing Oda, it might be a thing where Jack King was the first one, so I guess it's already kind of ruined.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was gonna say maybe it started with Jack, and then Kaido's like, might as well just keep going, you know, like
his real name is Raiden.
But you know, and it's funny though, because I wonder if Queen's name is actually Queen.
Yeah.
Because like because King, you know, we know his name's Arbor and stuff, but Queen is like, I don't know, it never came up, and it's just like you thought it, you know, you would think it might, but I don't know. Also, major shout out to Paths and 3-Day in the chat. Appreciate you guys for sliding in.
Yes, thank you so much.
Two goats from the channel for sure.
For sure.
Oh, that's cool that on Twitch it tells you listening only. I never even noticed that.
Oh,
I didn't know that either. Wow, thank you.
So I guess that's like they just have like the headphones in or something. So that's really dope. But also, Paz, I just wanted to answer real quick. It depends what you mean by end of Wano, because if you mean beating Kaido, it's been like a week plus a few days because Luffy like was asleep for a week after.
Didn't it take like 2 weeks?
I thought it was. Leave? Yeah, then it took like another couple days or something for them to leave, and it's been like a couple days since then, right? Since we because it's been at least a night since we got to Egghead, right? Because so we're a week plus a few days is how I would phrase it.
All right.
Which is why I am still on Mink medicine when explaining Zoro.
Oh man, what a hot topic that's been lately. The Zoro stuff. Couldn't beat Lucci forever, and then just clashing with Noshijuro. I mean, we'll probably talk about that more once we get to it in the review. But man,
maybe we should move on. Okay, we like Yamato. We hope that the cover story goes in interesting directions.
I just hope we see anything new.
Yeah.
That's all I want. What I don't want from this cover story is just Yamato going, do you remember this character? Do you remember this character? That would be the absolute worst thing that you could do with this cover story.
I completely agree.
Just finished Wano, man.
I agree. And that's why I'm so mad that like we spent the first few chapters like seeing Kinemon. And like one of the chapters is literally like Kinemon learning that Yamato's going to travel around. And I'm like, I mean, Kinemon, man, like I love you, but like, come on. Like it's the same thing with Nekomamushi. Like we could have had one panel where everyone's in the background and Yamato just yells out, I'm leaving to go on my own adventure. And everyone's like, yay. You know, and like that could have been it.
I feel like just like with Wano, this cover story is going to be 150 chapters long.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long one. I don't want to get off on a huge tangent on it, but I did a video about where I think this is going, and definitely think, you know, seeing Wano improve is part of it, getting scabbards is part of it, etc. Like doing exactly what Oden did. But I think the way it's ending and why Oda decided to do this at all is because it's going to end with Yamato finding out what happened to Kaido and Big Mom. So then we also learn.
Yeah, that's good, Dak. Wow, that's good.
Because we saw Onigashima in the water, right?
Right.
Like under, and if you just think about like whenever the thing like the volcanic explosion happened, if they flew out of the ground, which is like the implication, right? Like they erupted out with the eruption, then they would have like shot through the water and gone up. And part of my theory for this has been like, I bet you one of them fell in the water and is just like probably Kaido, because with a fish fruit, he might be able to breathe in the water, potentially.
I would love that.
That's funny.
And then Big Mom probably flew out and went somewhere else so Oda could separate them, because that's, you know, he can't keep them together forever. So I think, you know, long story short, I think Oda, by showing us Onigashima, is hinting, hey, it's going to start with Onigashima, but end with Kaido. You know, like we're going to see what happened to him, too, because we know what happened to his castle. So
how do you all feel about a redeemed Kaido?
It would be fine.
What do you mean by redeemed?
Because I go back and forth on it. Like, I've thought
that is the question.
Yeah.
Because on one hand, I kind of like him being a teacher to Momonosuke, that you know how to use the fruit at the same time.
Oh, absolutely not.
That's stupid.
Oh, that would be too much for me, man. That would be like Momo cannot become friendly with Kaido under any circumstances. I'll put it that way. You know, because they got too much beef. But could Kaido maybe like help Wano?
Yeah.
So, like, could he stop part of my theory is that, so, you know how Blackbeard knows about Pluton now, or presumably will know about it once Caribou talks to him?
Yeah.
Well, so then what if Blackbeard's like, well, let's go over there. I can use my Gura and just knock down the walls and get it. You know, like he might be able to do it without Zunisha. And so part of my idea is like, hey, what if Blackbeard does that and the water drains, but that also frees Kaido because if Kaido's stuck in the water, because again, remember Jack did the same thing, right? He's a fish man with a fruit. So I think Kaido might be reliving the same thing, but reverse, where his fruit is what lets him breathe. And so I think whenever the water drains, then Kaido will be able to move again. So Blackbeard will be actually releasing Kaido in that action. And so I could see Kaido then fighting Blackbeard off as a way to be like, hey, no, like Kaido now Joy Boy's back. I'm not letting you get this.
Kaido being like a general, like slight help is one thing. Him being like a tutor, like Kaido would definitely be like, teach, you're not him. I'm going to defend Joy Boy and whatever Joy Boy wants to do, because that's my MO.
Yes, sir. I agree. And I could even see Kaido dying trying to do this, because like, what if he's almost dead, but not quite dead yet from the fight because he's been stuck, hasn't gotten to eat or anything for a while, and so he's probably not healed very much, etc. And so what if like he's like holding off Blackbeard and then he ends up dying, and then Blackbeard, you know, gets his fruit or his corpse if he gets, you know, S bat or S gecko under his wing somehow and has the shadow powers at his disposal.
Maybe.
Yeah, remember like a zombie Kaido making like a better Oars? I think that would just be so crazy. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that could happen. I just don't think Kaido's gonna like Kaido wanting to make amends, you know, with Joy Boy and the good guys. I can see him having that arc, but I can't see the good guys doing the reverse. You know, like I can't see
Kaido genuinely being a good person.
Yeah, no.
Right.
That's just not in the books.
It's only going to be like Kaido, you know, just it's the grander scheme of things with Joy Boy. That's all his mind is about. Like whatever Joy Boy wants or is doing is what I'm involved in, I think.
Which makes the Albert or King situation even more interesting. Because like, where does he go from here now?
Impel down.
I mean, King's an Impel down.
Oh,
pretty sure.
I mean, is he going to get broken out though?
Yeah. I need to see the Impel down breakout. I need King to join Cross Guild.
Ooh.
Oh, that would be crazy.
Ooh.
If there's one group breaking a bunch of guys out of level 5, it's gotta be Cross Guild. Most of them were already in there. They already know how the place works. And then, is there anywhere else you could see Doflamingo going?
I mean, I agree with, well, I'll say this. I agree with most of the people joining Cross Guild, but as for like King and Queen, I don't see them ever like not following Kaido, because I mean, in the story, like you never really see the top people go against their captain. You know what I mean? Like they stick with them the entire time, even if they lose and everything. So I don't see King doing that necessarily,
maybe
but
Queen.
But yeah, Queen could maybe join like Neomads.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but like, and even that might not be like an outright betrayal of Kaido. It might just be like a, you know, like, oh, well, this will be useful for me to go check out. Like, you know, I might be able to get new stuff for Kaido if I go over here. Right. So I could see that. But as for the breakout, I get why everyone says that the Cross Guild will like make the breakout, because we know that Doflamingo should join them, right? Or Doflamingo, I think Mr. 2 is a shoe-in because they already have Mr. 0, 1, and Mr. 3. You gotta, I mean, might as well. I think Weevil is a really good bet, because that would make Cross Guild even more like the Rocks crew, because then he'd be like the Whitebeard.
Gracious.
That's good.
But my actual most recent video was about who's going to make that breakout. And I think it's actually going to be Marco and the Whitebeard Pirates, because remember, we have this whole Miss Buckingham situation where she says that Weevil's Whitebeard's kid and Marco doesn't believe her. And she's like, well, Vegapunk can prove it. Well, we have Vegapunk right now, right? Well, like he's dead, but there's satellites. There's a couple different ways you can get information out of them. Yeah. So I think what's going to happen is we're going to give that information to Marco. He's going to be like, okay, wow, this is actually Whitebeard's son. Well, I better go save him then. And so him and the other Whitebeard pirates are going to be like, hey, let's go save Whitebeard's son, which is a total redo of the original Impel Down, because everyone broke in to save Ace, who was Whitebeard's son. Yeah. But he was actually Roger's biological son, and now it's Whitebeard's biological son. And also on top of that, Luffy's the one who broke into Impel Down because he wanted to save his adopted brother. Marco would be breaking in Impel Down the next time to save his adopted brother. So I think they make a lot of sense, and so I think Cross Guild is just going to like stand to gain from it. Like Doflamingo escapes and is like, all right, what's my next plan? Oh, let's join these guys. So
also shout out to YC or Tacos that King would probably be interested in Luffy being the actual Joy Boy. That's possible. But I still don't think
very true. But where does he go with that?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. If you have any theories on that, Tacos, I'd be interested to hear, because I agree with you, because King was the one who started the Joy Boy thing, sort of. Because remember, King's like basically telling Kaido, like, you're Joy Boy, and Kaido's like, no, I'm not. He's like laughing. He's like, the one who is the guy who beats me. And it's like King was thinking that Kaido was Joy Boy the whole time, and that's like part of why he followed him forever. Like, not the whole reason, because obviously he got saved, but like he obviously thought Kaido was the shit. So, or the SH word. Sorry about that. But you know what I mean? So, yeah.
All my homies love Kaido. He's big, strong.
Big, strong.
Yep.
I guess lastly, because we should get going, it would be, I love the parallels between Weevil and Ace. I'm thinking too, well, never mind. We'll get to that in the chapter. Let's go to the first page.
27 years!
Yeah!
27, Oda!
27, baby.
It has been 27 years since the Baratie ended. Why now?
This has been the talk of the town. Even before I started reading the chapter, I had comments in the stream that were like, hey, make sure you really look at the background of the first panel.
Yeah.
Like, people were ready. But like, I think the betting odds are that those are the Krieg pirates, but Krieg and who people think are Geen don't look anything like what they used to. And also, the guy who's supposed to be Geen has like a sword,
man.
And he uses tonfas. So I don't think that's Geen. I'm like pretty confident that's not Geen.
What if it's Geen, but he's got a sword with a tonfa at the end?
See, but even then, it's just like, I don't know. Like, Oda wouldn't do that, I guess, is what I'm thinking. That's like because a lot of people have said that, like, and I've even seen a picture where it's like it's a tonfa, like it has the ball on the end, but it has just a sword handle. And I'm like, Oda doesn't really do that, like whenever somebody starts with a weapon, they end with it. Like Zoro, even though he swaps his swords out, he just gets another sword. Like whatever they start with tends to be what they end with. And so yeah, and then also Krieg in the back. So obviously his armor is the big tell, but his face looks nothing like what he used to look like. And so that could be like a time skip thing, because it's been a couple years. 27 in real life.
I don't remember what Krieg looks like.
But if you actually go look at the Jolly Roger, which I think a lot of people have pointed out, I mean, it might just be me, but the little bit we have of it doesn't really even look like Krieg's Jolly Roger. And I might just be, crazy, or it might just be the way it's drawn. But like, he has like there's like things on the sides of his Jolly Roger. And it
looks almost like a poker chip, but that might be reflections of the armor. I don't know.
Maybe. Here's what I'm saying. Those might be the fake Krieg pirates. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Those might be the fake Krieg ones, and that's the joke here. Because I doubt that's like it. Like I said, the betting odds are probably that it's just the glowed up Krieg pirates. But I'm just like, and Pearl, like that looks like Pearl on the left, but only because of the outfit, which theoretically anyone could steal, right? Like we haven't seen his face yet, so I'm pumping the brakes a little bit, just because, right now, like only one of them looks like what they're supposed to look like. So but regardless,
but just consider the idea, man.
Exactly.
Exactly. Just the thought of these two guys showing up in the background of a throwaway panel has the entire community completely losing their minds.
Kuro next chapter.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, three things actually. First of all, hello Ghost Train, how are you? Thanks for joining the Twitch chat. Secondly, I forgot where it is, but there was a time in which Krieg did have long hair. I remember it from the anime. I don't know where it is in the manga. Like an old bounty poster of his, he's got long, flowing lavender hair. I don't know.
I just love the idea that Oda just watched OPLA and he's like, oh yeah, the Krieg pirates. And then he put him in the manga.
Also about that, I just found that out. Pearl does appear in OPLA.
Oh.
He's on the ground. I did not know that.
Hey. And actually, I just looked it up, and I guess Krieg's bounty poster has him with long hair.
Yes. That was what I was saying.
But he didn't have it whenever we met him, which is like what throws me off.
Yeah.
And now he has glasses on to show the passage of time.
Because, like Marco.
Oh, the hair's not that long, though. But anyway, sorry.
And then now on Kuro. What if Kuro joined the Cross Guild?
I mean it would fit the MO. There's a lot of schemers in Cross Guild.
Or, I've heard about this CP0 idea.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Because he was I don't know what the whole theory is about it. Like, there might be better reasoning than I'm about to say. But the thing for me that makes it make sense is that Oda said in an SBS that Kuro basically was using Shave. He was like the first one to use it in the series, basically. But he just was going so fast he couldn't control it. But he was going like that speed. And so that's like, okay, well, Shave is a, Rokushiki technique. Like that's CP0 talk or Cypher Pole in general.
Yeah.
So I could see it. I want Kuro to come back in some way. I'm probably one of the very few fans. Well, people like memeing on Kuro, but they always, kind of dog Syrup Village as an arc. But I actually really like Syrup Village. Like on my first watch through.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite, like one of the moments that really hooked me into One Piece was that whole arc, because maybe it's just my own, like, at the time, P-brain in terms of shonen knowledge. But I was like, dang, so we got this guy who lies all the time. So we have like the boy who cries wolf thing. He also has a long nose. So he's like Pinocchio. And like there's this whole Clawhador thing, like the fake butler. Like it was like a nice little, just well encapsulated arc for like just like a casual person to watch.
Yeah.
It obviously doesn't stand up to like the other craziness we've seen since then. But I like Syrup Village. And Kuro was one of the big reasons for it. So I'm ready for him to come back.
Me too.
What I love about Syrup Village is that it is Oda showing what inspires him just so obviously and on his sleeve. Like, Syrup Village feels like a Lupin the Third arc, and I love that.
True.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, this feels like Monkey Punch could have written it. And it's awesome.
Especially like with the hypnotism, because Lupin the Third often goes off on like weird supernatural powers sometimes. But yeah, no, this is great. I love this. Also, the Lion Sea Beast from Fishman Island makes a return.
Yeah, I was looking at Krieg. This does not look like Krieg. But the armor is so good, though. The armor is basically spot on.
Yeah, I agree. It's a weird situation, That's like it's just I don't know what Oda's doing. Like that guy in the front
falls the scribble piece.
Like that. See the guy in the front that's like yelling towards us. He has like the striped jacket. That's like what Oda thinks we're all going to be acting like when we see the people in the background. You know what I mean? Like that's like that's like what Oda's. I think that's what he's saying. But the fact he didn't put the Greek pirates in the front is making me think like there's something more to this. And the only reason why I say fake Krieg pirates is an option is because we just had the fake Kid pirates.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, maybe people are doing this all over the place, for all I know.
To be fair, we do see Rossio, and I think in chapter 116 from like Jaya, the guy that Bellamy supposedly killed, and he too is a victim of scribble piece. So I don't know. I mean,
yeah, but I think there's a difference between that and Geen.
Yeah.
Geen was like the last time we saw Geen was 27 years ago, and it was him looking at Sanji go, we're going to meet in the new world and we're going to fight again.
Right after he said that, right after he literally, like, I shouldn't say literally because I'm paraphrasing, but he pretty much said, I'm probably gonna. I'm a dead man walking because of all this poison. But hey, tell Luffy we're gonna meet on the Grand Line. And I'm like, okay, which one is it, dude? Are you dying or are you gonna survive so you meet Luffy again?
So there's a chance that we'll never see the Krieg pirates again, and then that will just be what happened.
Yeah, like I since Oda set it up that way, I kind of feel like he's just playing both sides. Like, I'll bring this guy back if I feel like it. You know, like he can do whatever he wants. Which I made this comparison in my last stream. I don't know if you guys watch or read JJK. I won't spoil anyone, but there's a certain female character that Gege did the same thing with. And I think authors do that on purpose, where they play both sides and they're like, I'll figure out my plan later. I'm not, if I don't have time, then he'll just be dead.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out in the anime for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever that is.
Yep, a year from now, at least.
True. But yeah, second panel, not interesting, but we do see Mont Blanc Cricket and the Monkey Boy.
Cricket is clean.
Yo.
I love him, man. Noland. When I saw the name Noland mentioned, immediate hype for me. That's one of my favorite characters in the whole story.
And I love the fact that they're like, the world is flooding, and Cricket's like, business is booming, boys.
Yep, because they salvage stuff, right?
Yes.
Like they can pull stuff out of the bottom, so they're probably gonna find some important stuff. Now that they know that there's like old islands underneath from a high-tech kingdom, my boys are about to step up for real.
Mont Blanc Emporium, that castle will be real.
And I love how he said it sounds romantic, doesn't it? Because I believe that's the kind of verbiage he used when talking about like Noland and like going to Sky Islands. Like it's a romantic idea to like go to the sky and do all this stuff. So for him to bring that back, I'm just man, I just love it.
The romance of the dawn, baby. Oh. And I like that we get a time placement. So we know like Nolan is like in the same weird kind of blank area of like Brook is when he was alive. Like this weird stretch of time in which Roger's a rookie and Roger doesn't exist yet. You kind of get what I mean?
Yeah.
Wait, who are you talking about that was alive?
Nolan's time.
Nolan time.
Oh, I mean that was like 400 years ago. But
yeah.
But yeah, super cool.
Yeah. It's any mention of Nolan gets a thumbs up.
Also, W Marine chapter.
True.
One of the biggest W Marine chapters of all time, in my opinion.
They needed this chapter.
They did. Because I like all the boys recovering. Hibari's fine from being a popsicle. I like that.
I love Kobe here.
Kobe's great.
I don't know, man.
Because he said it's hard to keep up with all these thoughts racing around my head. And he said, I'm going to pass out. I'll write everything down later. It's hard to keep up with all these thoughts. I think what Oda's hinting towards is, you remember how like in Marineford, Kobe's observation hockey got unlocked and he could like hear everyone's thoughts or like, like their fears or whatever, like the battling. He's like, oh my God, we got to stop. Like, what is going on? Like that whole thing. I think the same thing's happening now where like, I'm not saying he's like hearing the fears of everyone around the world, but I think there's like more to it than just the information that he's hearing. Like, I think he's thinking in his head, like, oh my God, there's so many people to save. Like the world needs me, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? So I think
he's putting the whole world on his shoulders, man.
So I love Kobe being stressed.
Punch that world.
Also, Groose in the background looking fresh.
And behind Kujaku, we see Panda Man.
Hey. Another character.
Oh wow, that is him.
Remember this week.
That is him back there.
Yeah. So they're talking. We see X Drake. He's got his own little Din Mushi. That's great.
So X Drake is alive.
Good.
Cool.
So here's my question though for you guys, which I was kind of asking this in my stream too, is like, so is he still recovering from Wano?
Probably.
Yeah.
That was like a week and a half ago at this point. And it's Luffy and Zoro were up and running, and like he didn't even no disrespect to Drake, but like he didn't even go through near the stuff that Luffy and Zoro
Drake
went
doesn't
through.
have a mythical Zoan, so you know, those ancient Zoan, hilariously low stamina and endurance. So
I don't know, man. Maybe Drake. What if Drake did something in between? You know, like what if this is Oda hinting like Drake got involved in something else after?
Crossfire of Green Bull.
Oh man, I hope not. He'd be shriveled up. But it would be funny because like, would Drake go to Impel Down if he got caught, or is he a pirate, or do the Marines just not? You know what I mean? Like he's kind of like this weird spot.
Know who all of Sword's agents are?
True.
Yeah, I don't know.
Would Green Bull know who everyone in Sword is?
Yeah, like what if Green Bull did beat him, but then was like, "Oh, my bad. Let's take you to the infirmary." I don't know. I could see something like that, actually.
Maybe they would let Magellan know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Magellan would. I don't know. Well, actually, I don't know. Magellan seems pretty focused on like one thing, which is the, you know, people in the prison already. So he probably doesn't even know a lot.
They'll put him in the prison and then they'll let him out.
Ghost Train brings up an interesting point, though. He says, I'd say the zero finger type moves are a bit more lethal than we give him credit for because of where we are in the story. Did Drake get hit with a finger pistol?
Yeah, whenever he was from Guernica, right before Guernica got the call to go up and like get in between Luffy and Kaido that made Luffy die. Right before that, he like finger pistol Drake in the back, basically.
Yeah.
And that same move killed Izo.
And look, Ghost Train, I get what you're saying, but I mean, you know, Who's Who stabbed Jinbei like a bunch of times, and he was all good.
Do we even have to talk about Who's Who in Jinbei? Diggity dog. Zoro tanked. What was it? Kikoku Sovereignty?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He tanked that from 2 Yonkos at the same time and is fighting Lucci right now.
Though we do know that it can kill because Stussy did murder Lufeld back in Whole Cake with a finger pistol.
Well,
is he dead?
Izo got killed by the same move.
Hold on, I don't think Dufeld's actually dead.
Because the cover story that we see him in is when he's younger with Mads. But we don't know if he's dead or not.
You talking about Dufeld still?
Yeah.
His status says unknown on the wiki. There's no source, so I can't really check it because it's just you know, Oda almost never kills people.
Yeah,
so
true.
And for me, I just assume they're alive unless I have undeniable proof. Which, you know, Vegapunk, even though he's dead, and I do have undeniable proof, I feel like the chance that he ends up surviving is not zero. So
well, Vegapunk Stella is dead, along with 3 others of the satellites.
Oh, the one.
Vegapunk, the main one, though.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm just imagining, like, I don't know, like right now Sanji's carrying around like a corpse, or he was. I don't think he has Vegapunk in his arms anymore, but he was like carrying around Vegapunk's corpse, like talking to him. And I'm just like, you know, Oda has a certain feeling with his death scenes, and that was not the same feeling that we get during death scenes. Like you go back to when like Yasu got executed. That was like, you had no doubt that he died there. You know, like it was so impactful. There was so much focus. And for someone as important as Vegapunk to get killed in like a side panel, because remember, like whenever he got hit by Kizaru, it was like just along the bottom in like a very small box. I don't know. I don't know how he would bring him back at this point, because like he's been bleeding out and is already dead. But I mean,
that's not the main Vegapunk. It's going to be like, what is a person? Is it the body? Is it the soul? Is it the brain?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I could see like Vegapunk using his brain to make like a hologram of himself, essentially. And so then there's just a hologram of Vegapunk being shot from like Punk Records that's him, because it's still his will, but not his like physical body.
Yeah.
And then
something like that.
We don't know, like Devil Fruits rarely do one thing. So we don't know like the full capacity of what the brain fruit can actually do.
Yeah, the awakening.
Yeah. But not even
by the way, Kush Daddy, I see you in the chat. Appreciate you sliding in. Kush Daddy, one of the goats.
Thank you for joining. But like, not just even like awakening, just like other abilities. Because like, look how many abilities the Hollow Fruit has. You have the Ghost generation, but you can also astral project.
And And actually, I'm so glad you brought up the hollow fruit because obviously it's actually like the horo no mi is like what it's actually called, but it's like, she makes hollows, right? So it's like because it's the R's and the L's can be swapped, right, in Japanese. And a couple times during Egghead, Luffy has referred to holograms as hollow things, which is like, and to me that's a hint back over to her fruit because she kind of does make holograms, kind of like those ghosts, like they go right through you and everything, but they're still like alive, quote unquote. And she can also do it like remotely, like she can like send out these hollows from like a different location. So so I think, I think the hologram story is far from over. I think that was like a small taste.
Hilariously unfired Chekhov's gun.
Yep. The whole like what's real and not is a debate as old as time. We set up holograms
so much at the start, and he has done nothing with them.
Mm-hmm.
True.
And I will say it's about to come back though, partially because at the start of the arc, the holograms we saw were a giant space monster and a giant robot that fought. And right now we have the Gorosei, monsters named after planets, so kind of like space monsters in some regard, versus a robot right now. So like Oda, what happened at the start of the arc is now physically happening. So if there's a time to bring it back, now is the time because we're completing that idea.
Speaking about characters who are unfired Chekhov's guns and who are coming back to the story, we have the bum himself doing his best Kuzan impression. Smoker, baby! Yeah!
Smoker-san!
I love that you brought up...
remembered you exist!
I love that you said Kuzan impression because he's trying to be cool. He's going across the water in his own little thing. Like Kuzan had the bike. And now he's got like the giant motorcycle thing.
He's pulling something. I don't know what he's pulling.
It's a giant cube.
Where has he been? He is the only vice admiral in the entire organization who has not been working on screen.
The fact it's like a cube behind him makes me want to say it's a poneglyph right away, but there's no way that's it. Like, I would be shocked. I have no idea why he'd have a poneglyph. The only other thing I can think that he has is like a crate of weapons or something to because he wants to go defeat some pirate. And so he's bringing weapons to give to like the Marines that he's recruiting for this cause, like the sword members or something.
He's maybe dragging around a Ford F-150 that will merge with him so he can fight all for one.
It docks like he maybe
an Iron Man suit. Iron Man suit would be so sick.
I'm ready for a Smoker hype because
I need Smoker to do anything, dude.
Yeah, like the fact we started with him clearly being the Garp of Luffy, like chasing him, like the Garp and Roger is now Smoker and Luffy. Like that was clearly the setup at the beginning. And then Smoker just doesn't appear forever. It's like, all right, Oda, you better be cooking. Like, Oda, I've learned to trust you, but this is one of the cases where I'm nervous.
You've been pickling this character for almost half the runtime of the manga.
Yeah, he's been fermenting in this jar. You're just waiting for him to, to bring him out and unleash him. And it better be worth it.
Speaking about fermenting, it's very appropriate because he did fall victim to Doflamingo's butt hockey.
Untrue. Well, hey man, the butt hockey's real. You can't stop the butt cheek hockey.
The most powerful conqueror's hockey.
Okay, I don't know what town this is, but we're Vegapunk's yapping.
What town is this? There's probably some context clues here that could tell us.
It's very European feeling. I don't know.
I don't know either. It's funny because if the island didn't get erased, I'd say that this is Lelucia because it kind of reminds me of it, but obviously that's not the answer. So,
but we know they're rich. They have a
true
broadcast transponders now, or whatever they're called. I forgot.
I mean, have we ever been to a place with this specific kind of architecture? I mean, I guess it might be Sorbet.
Yeah, well, yeah, because you got the
If it was a whole cake island, like a Tato Land place, we would see a Big Mom pirate.
We would see some freaks in the background.
Her Taco said Log Town. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
I doubt that's it, because Oda would put us in the same square as before if he was going to show us Log Town, you know, like where Luffy almost got executed. And this like maybe could be it, but it's not clear enough. Like Oda would make sure we knew that's where it was. So,
although that does kind of look like Log Town.
Yeah, it's similar architecture, somewhat.
I can believe it.
One thing, real quick, I want to say about Smoker before we move on too far is just like an idea about like, you know, maybe like I said, he might have weapons for some kind of plan or something. One thing that Oda does, and I mean, a lot of authors do this, is like the rule of three, you know, where like if it happens twice and it's probably going to happen a third time generally. And you know how like at the beginning of the story, we had Smoker attacking Luffy, but being stopped by Dragon. So there's like three parts to that equation, right? You have like the attacker, the victim, and the savior of that.
And then the second one was Ace, yeah.
Well, the next one was with that Smoker was a part of was after Punk Hazard, where he was the victim, Doflamingo was the attacker, and Kuzan was the savior. So now we need to have a situation where Smoker is the savior, stopping someone from killing someone else. And I think Smoker, I think, needs to pull up. And I think the thing that makes the most sense is Luffy, or he comes and saves Luffy. Like he stops someone from killing Luffy. I don't know, you know, where, I don't know who, but it's got to happen in my mind. He has to be the savior.
I mean, he's in the New World, so there's only a couple places he could be.
He's got to be heading towards Egghead, or heading towards Hachinosu, or heading towards Empty Bluffs.
Hachinosu.
Oh, Ghost Train says if he saved Garp, I'd like that.
That
would Smoker has zero chance to
how does he go
to Hachinosu, and like,
how is he going to fight Kuzan?
And if Blackbeard's actually there, which he might be at this point, because he was just on Winter Island before, which isn't that far. Like
Smoker's coming out to save Law, baby.
Like here's my thing, you know, it's like Kobe and everyone were just at Hachinosu, and I just cannot see Oda bringing more Marines to Hachinosu to like redo it. You know, like they brought Marines there to save Kobe, and Garp got left behind. I can't see him just doing it again, and now we're going to go save Garp. Like there will be a time where someone makes an attempt. I just can't see it being like a raid on Hachinosu in the near term, because we just did that, you know. I think Garp's getting sold to Cross Guild, and then that could prompt Smoker to attack the Cross Guild. Now that I could see, because he might think he has a better chance against them.
And then he does have, like, even though it's fake news, he does have a relationship with Crocodile, because it was said in the paper that he was the one who defeated Crocodile.
Yeah.
True. And he also even took like his rain powder ship.
Right. He also,
that's true, that they are connected.
He also captured momentarily Buggy and Alvita back in Logtown. And then I don't think he had any run-ins with Mihawk.
I mean, the closest you'd have is Marineford.
Yeah.
Or they were both at Logtown. I don't know if they would have met each other or done anything, but they were both at Logtown when Roger died.
True, at the execution. Very true.
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe he saw him and just had like a moment of like, oh, that's the he probably wouldn't have been world's strongest swordsman yet, but maybe Mihawk had a name for himself and he just, you know, made a mental note. But I doubt they fought or anything.
And Crocodile was also there, so yeah.
Yep. Crocodile, Doflamingo, the whole Cross Guild group was there.
Hopefully,
the future Cross Guild.
Yeah, hopefully future Cross Guild member Moria was there.
Oh, dude, please. So Doflamingo, I think, is like, when people say like new Cross Guild members, that's like the first one people jump to, because I mean, it's exciting, obviously, like getting Doflamingo back out, that'd just be crazy. But for me, the more necessary one is Moria. Like,
yes.
They need him. Moria would be so much more useful in an organization like that. Like it still makes me mad that Moria was like sewing together these old corpses that were like so decomposed. Like look, if I were to put my evil mastermind hat on for a second, I would go take fresh corpses. You know, like it sounds terrible, but like they're going to be stronger than like if you go get Ryuma, who's decomposed for 400 years, there's no way that body is going to be as strong as like, you know, a fresher swordsman of some kind that's really powerful. So I'm just like, you know, you think about how the Cross Guild's getting these Marines given to them. Like, what if they execute the Marines, then put a shadow in it, and then they have the Marine army on their side? You know, like there's so many cool things they could do.
Fair. Also,
what about Corpse Garp?
Yeah.
No.
I'm big on that. I'm big on that. I think that's super likely.
You know what I think? I think Cross Guild gets Moria, but there's a chance because Blackbeard is interested in Moria's powers that Blackbeard gets Ass Gecko or Ass Black, whatever he's called. Because I think we'll get to that
how
soon.
Successful was Perona? We never found out.
I think I put all the chips on Perona. Come on, girl, bet on Ghosts.
You mean like getting her like did she
Perona
get Moria
was at
out of there?
Hachinosu to get Moria out, but we never found out how that went.
Well, we did see like that panel where she's like telling Kobe, "Hey, I'll let you out if you help me save Moria." And then right after, but it was Kobe's flashback. Like Kobe was freed. He had a flashback to that moment, and then he goes back to him and he's like, "I can't believe I worked with pirates." So to me, that's Oda communicating like it did work. They got out. He just isn't going to show us because it's important. Like maybe Moria looks a little bit different now or something, and that's why.
Then
Moria got skinny.
Please, then Moria. Come on.
If we have like Moria getting a glow up and then like Queen and Weevil getting a glow up from like, the Green Bull liposuction attack,
we cannot make Queen skinny.
It's going to happen.
If he was skinny, he'd be too popular.
And it's happening, man.
He's zooming.
I am so confident that we're going to go down to level 6 and see skinny Queen and skinny Weevil. Like that moment will just be amazing.
I know Queen is already skinny. I'm just saying we can't show skinny Queen on a page. He would be too powerful.
Too muscular.
Nobody would like the Straw Hats anymore. Nobody would like any of the Straw Hats anymore. Nobody would like any other character in the series. It's all Queen. We call it Queen Piece now, baby.
Queen Piece does go hard, though.
It does.
To Ghost and and also Taco. Queen is already skinny now. Ghost Strand needs to fight Green Bull and then have Buggy affirming his dream moment. So like I guess what do you
Moria needs a reaffirming his dream moment. Moria needs to learn to get off his lazy butt, get up and fight for what he wants.
Exactly.
For once.
So Ghost, is the Green Bull thing just so Moria goes back to his old days?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
Okay, I was trying to connect the two thoughts, and I think that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Moria needs to get the glow
back
up
to his peak.
Yeah, Moria needs to have a physical awakening and then a mental awakening, is what he's saying.
We cannot give him a general Iroh glow up, but we could do something similar.
Two things I want. I know we're going on a tangent, but two things I've always wanted out of Moria, and Zakk has brought this up, and I love his idea. But Moria walking Richie the lion as a dog as a replacement for losing Absalom.
I need it.
Oh,
I
man.
need it.
That would be crazy.
And then
I just want little things with that, man.
Well, and also just real quick theory I want to throw in there.
Sure.
I think there might be a chance that Absalom isn't actually dead. And the reason I say that is because in Egghead, we've learned that you can take paramecia powers from people. Like, you don't like, they still have the power also, but you're able to like take a sample of the power and give it to the Seraphim, like Senor Pink was like the main example.
Yeah, but that needs like green blood.
But Blackbeard, remember with Whitebeard, he went under the tarp and took his power somehow, and we don't really know how that happened. And so part of me wonders if Blackbeard can take the powers out of people, because that was also a paramecia, also the Gura Gura. So part of me wonders if he can take them out,
I have a feeling that with what happened to Whitebeard is that Blackbeard just knew about Devil Fruit reincarnation. and didn't want to share that with the world. Because he went under the tarp, and he came out with a fruit.
Well, he came out with the powers. He didn't like have the fruit with him, right? He just came out.
He came out with the fruit.
No, he came out with the power.
No. Yeah, we didn't know what the fruit looked like until it was revealed in the One Piece magazine, like a handful of years ago.
Oh, we still don't know.
No, it wasn't. We got it right.
No, the Quake crew has never been shown.
Yeah, it was in the One Piece magazine.
I mean, wait.
Look up Guruguru. It's a blue pair.
That doesn't really matter right now.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, but Blackbeard can't steal powers. Maybe he could put them in other people. Who knows?
Yeah, like maybe he goes like in an all black room with like Absalom and I guess Shiryu in this case, and maybe he can, because the tarp makes me think it has to be all dark. I don't, who knows, but maybe he goes to like a
darkness.
Yeah, maybe he goes in an all black room and can just swap the power from one body to another. And so whenever they say like, oh, do you want Absalom's corpse? Like I think they told Moria that when he showed up at Hachinosu. It could just be like maybe it was a way to like pull him in so they could take his powers too, right? Like they were trying to like lure him in.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we'll see. We'll see if that's true. But I don't know.
I love Moria, and I can't wait to see more of him.
One last thing, I would love it if Empty Bluff was no longer the base for Crossskill and they all moved to Thriller Bark.
Yeah!
And they did some renovating.
That would be cool. I guess my only issue is like Buggy's new ship would be kind of irrelevant then, because like the Thriller Bark would be their ship at that point.
Well, not necessarily, because Moria has a smaller ship that he went to. They went into.
And then we could do the gag where Buggy's crew renovates Thriller Bark to all be Buggy, and Moria is absolutely ticked about it.
Yeah, I mean that could happen. I could see, because I could see because if you go back to Hachinosu, you can see Thriller Bark in front of it, and I don't know. It would feel weird to me, but I guess if they just updated it all. But even then, like they just built the new ship,
the traveling circus. It will be incorporated into the entire idea.
That's a good idea.
What is their ship called? It got revealed somewhere.
Big Top Blaster, I think.
That's it. The Big Top Blast. Yeah, nope. I reject. I reject what you were just saying.
That goes too hard.
Yep. They can't, and you can't name a ship the same name. You know what I mean? Like that's the only Big Top Blaster. We have to keep it.
What about the Bigger Top Blaster?
Yeah. Because
all right, maybe.
I think the ship that Moria goes to Hachinosu on is not like the main Thriller Bark because it's too small.
I think that's just how big Hachinosu is.
That's fair. Huh.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to be wrong because I do not understand how he takes that under or over the red line. Like I know how bubbles work and everything, but like just coding that ship seems impossible. You know what I mean? Like it's so big. It's so just like awkwardly shaped. I don't know.
Which is why Rayleigh will be joining Crossskill.
Oh,
they might need him. They might need his services.
But yeah.
I just want to see a conversation between Buggy and Rayleigh before the end of the series.
Yeah, like he says, I'm proud of you, boy. You made something of yourself.
Yeah.
Buggy needs to talk to his dad at least once.
We'll get one.
Speaking about ships,
It made poor old man Rayleigh coat the entirety of Thriller Bark.
Yo.
And then just dies from exhaustion.
I don't know, man. My man swam to Amazon Lily.
Hey, he said he was getting too old to fight Blackbeard, which, coating a ship is obviously easier than that, but still.
Oh, from Pirate King Trig on TikTok, what do you all think Smoker's Dragon?
Well, we just talked about that.
Oh,
Weapons, poneglyph, who knows?
Oh, what Smoker is dragging behind. I thought you meant who is Smoker's dragon, like Monkey D. Dragon? And I was like, wait, what's the question? No, I get it.
Yeah.
Weapons is my guess of some kind, but I don't know.
I think a poneglyph would be too heavy to carry through the water.
I think so too.
It would just be like that's just not Smoker's thing.
Yeah.
You know, like that would just be weird.
And he's not a history-driven character.
So
Ooh.
Maybe it's a criminal?
Wait, going back to our crocodile idea, what if it's dance powder?
Ooh.
I don't know what he'd be doing with it, but that would be just a good writing move. Like, I just like the idea of that, even if I don't know where it goes.
I mean, if you had dance powder and you made, if you wanted to fight Kuzan, you could make the air itself extremely dry and arid, so that Kuzan can't use his power of ice as well. Because he's not ice, he's cold. So
that is actually kind of interesting. Like, you dry out the air.
You dry out the air so he can't make ice out of the
water in the air,
Yeah.
It would also make Fishman Karate useless, which, not that that matters as much in this regard, but it would.
Yeah, true, it would.
I guess you would have water in your body still, which would get impacted, but at least, like, most of the attacks wouldn't work.
You've lowered the effectiveness, though. That's true.
Yeah. Yes. Not very effective anymore.
I thought you were going to say something else, but anyway.
I'm on my best behavior today. I'm not going
No, you are not. You know who's coming up in the next page, dog.
I'm not going to do it. You know. We have company over. I'm not going to do it. Okay, so we're back at Egghead talking about ships. We're back at Egghead. We see the Sunny. We see Nami. And they're talking about the clouds stretching out to the sea. And we see Brooke fueling up the cola barrels for a coup de burst, which is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is great. I love anytime Brooke's in a chapter.
Me too.
Mm-hmm.
I love Brooke.
This is. I was gonna say, this is cool, but I'm still a little confused on the logistics of all this, because when the arc started, or when this whole like escape plan started, the original plan was, let's get the Vega Force, have the Vega Force take us off the island as far as it can go until it runs out, because like it has to be a certain distance from Punk Records or whatever.
Yeah.
And then once it fails, then coup de burst from there. So that way we go, we just barely touch the water, I guess, at this point.
Exactly.
But here they even talk about how the chapter before, they say it in this chapter too, but I think it was explained last chapter, where the clouds stopped stretching. They didn't stretch out like super far. They got stopped partway through.
Right.
And even whenever they look down, like the ships are right beneath them. And so in my mind, I'm like, if they coup de burst from here, this isn't enough distance compared to before, or at least it shouldn't be, because like the Vega Force was going to take them way further than these clouds are right now. I think something else has to happen, basically.
Well, I think that circumstances in general have changed. The coup de burst will get them over the Marines. The problem is escaping the Marines afterwards.
Right. That's why they want the double boost.
Which you don't have to worry as much anymore, because now we have the giant pirates here. And we have the Elder Stars distracted, and we have XYZ, etc.
Well, we're skipping ahead a little bit, but the new giant pirates got a hole in their ship, so I don't think they can even move anymore. Like, they're just stuck
they didn't know that when they came up with the flag. We're just trying to leave, man.
I know. I'm just saying from Oda's perspective now. Like, he keeps taking away the ways of leaving, and so I just think basically, I don't think they're going to coup de burst and get out. I guess that's what I'm saying. I think there's got to be more to it than just coup de burst from the spot they're at right now and go. Like I think they're going to fall right into the midst of all those ships and the giant war going on, because Oda loves to have the Sunny or Mary in the most daunting situation ever. And then the good guys escape. Even with Roger, he did that in the Ed War, where it's like one ship versus a million, but somehow the crew gets out. Like at the end of Enies Lobby, we kind of had that. And Whole Cake is one of my favorite examples of it.
I was about to say, need I remind you of the single blemish of Whole Cake Island?
Why is it a blemish? Why is it a blemish?
Ending the chapter with the Sunny being destroyed, and then the next chapter was like, they were just better.
Yeah.
They got over it.
I thought that you were
the actual escape is great.
Yeah, I thought you were about to say the miss was like Luffy at the end saying, like, even if you die, don't die. We'll meet you in Wano to Jinbei.
Yeah.
That was a cold line for me. That hit me really hard whenever he said that. And I was actually pretty angry when the anime came out for that, because that was my first time like reading through an arc and then getting to watch it. You know what I mean? Like that was the first, that was the arc I got caught up on. So I was excited to see how they animated stuff I read, basically. And they didn't say, even if you die, don't die. He said, like, no matter what, come to Wano. And I'm like, bro, come on. That was so much better the first time, but whatever.
Here's a suggestion. Getting back to Whole Cake Island, do you remember how Watasume saved the Sunny, right? And we all thought the Sunny had got sunk. What if a similar situation happens here in which they coup de burst, right? What if Dusty can become a bigger bat, like a huge bat? I'm talking big. And she, as they coup de burst, she glides the ship over the war into safer waters.
I mean, I could see it, but it would feel way too plot convenient right now because like she's also injured and like she wasn't even going to leave until a second ago. So then for her to like go from that role to like being the savior, it would feel weird. That the idea that I've been running with, and it seems like maybe a little less likely now once the cloud's extended, but excuse me, still possible, is Dory and Brogy do what they did.
Getting out. Yes,
because they did that at Little.
They
did that at Little Garden. Remember, and they shot him through the goldfish. So imagine
a line through a Navy fleet. That would be so sick.
Exactly. Replace the goldfish with the Navy fleet, and then have them go through because they like flew whenever they did that attack. They flew through the fish, right?
And they actually could have burst now because Luffy's not on the ship. Yeah.
So like, I think the ship's going to fall. It's going to be like the worst case scenario. And Dory and Brogy are going to walk over and be like,
straight up,
hey, your only way of getting out of here is us getting you out of here. And then Luffy's going to be like, well, if you don't come with us, you're going to die. And he's like, and they just laugh, and it's like, well. And then they just kick him out. Like, we've lived long enough, or, like, not that they will die. I think it's possible, but I think they're going to get left behind.
We're not allowed to die until our duel is finally finished.
Yes!
Yeah, maybe this will be their final step of the duel where they're like, let's see who can send them further, even though like they're sending them at the same time. But it could be, I don't know. I think that could be a really impactful ending.
I'll take the 5,000 on the left. You take the 5,000 on the right. Whoever kills more wins.
Taco suggests the pawpaw fruit, but I think Kuma is yeah.
Yep. I don't know if dead is the right word. But
Kuma's gone.
Yeah, he's pretty much dead.
But straight up, I don't think the Sunny's gonna burst. Nosjiro definitely froze the coup de burst thing.
Oh, the big like the blowhole back. Ooh,
I think so.
Well, it looked like Zoro stopped him, right?
He stopped a sword slash, but I think he might have gotten some ice there because he is ice. Maybe.
Well, and also I wonder if Brook can just undo the ice because he has ice for the same reason, I presume, as Gandhi Gorosei.
Yeah, because they're both skeletons.
And it doesn't look like anything's up with the ship from the behind area. From the behind shot.
Yeah, not the exhaust part, but like the top of it. I mean, maybe like the masts are frozen, so they won't have any wind or whatever. I don't know.
Speaking of which, let's move on to that because we got Jinbei and Zoro running towards the ship. Nosjiro catches up with him, is about to slash the Sunny from the back, and I keep forgetting how big he is.
He's massive.
Oh my lord! Look,
because his top half is just him, but his devil fruit makes him bigger, and that's hard to keep up with.
Yeah, he's massive, dude.
Oh.
I love this panel though because it's empty like, in the background.
Yes,
and it just really makes you focus on the sizing. I
hope the anime doesn't ruin that.
The anime is gonna have their work cut out for them for the next forever. We're almost to the Shanks and Kid episode.
Yeah,
right.
So
and Garp,
we're like a month away.
Oh,
yeah, we're about like a month and a half, I think, away.
I hope that they just take Piccolo standing in front of Nappa's blast for Gohan. And I hope that they just trace that cell line for line for Killer jumping in front of Kid.
Yeah, when Shanks does the atheism slash
Yeah.
divine departure, yeah. And then we got Lilith, Usopp, and Chopper bugging out, and then Jinbei does his best Orlumbus impression.
Yo, I love that.
I'm gonna be honest. This is easily the best thing that Jinbei has done in the entire series.
In the whole series?
Special, baby!
Yeah, I loved this because it also, not that I'm like a Zoro slanderer too much, but I just like that this happening has led to a lot of funny ideas about some power scaling stuff. Like, because he had the same thing happen when he beat Pika, and now like he's getting the boost here too, and so people are just kind of like, you know, Zoro needs help all the time because he also had help against Lucci. And so I just think it's pretty funny that like Oda's doing this with Zoro. That's all. Like he's feeding the agendas for people.
When being thrown, always bet on Zoro.
Dude, Zoro hasn't been thrown since Long Ring Longland. No. For the one time that he messed with Sanji kicked him at right?
Yeah, no, is that, and then it's versus Pika. It's Orlumbus.
Yep. Oh, right.
And
he threw him like across the whole island. It felt like it was just really far.
I just love that Zoro's most powerful technique is the fastball special. That's funny.
Yes.
Yep.
Whenever he's throwing, he always wins.
And hasn't Sanji like kicked Zoro for a speed boost before? Or he did it to somebody. It might have been Luffy. I just can't remember who it was. But he like, you know, used his leg to give him a boost. I just can't remember.
I think he does that with Luffy against the Flying Fish Riders.
And maybe against Oars.
Yeah.
I think it was against, yeah. There's a lot of times when this is happening.
There needs to be more Oars fights, man. I need more team fights with the Straw Hats.
Same.
They're good.
But yeah. So on the...
Oh, sorry.
I was going to say, so just tying to like this Zoro situation, how do you guys feel about Zoro's attack naming recently?
I mean, well, it hasn't really changed because it's still like Buddhism / Hinduism inspired, correct?
Yeah, but I feel like he's just making it every time now.
He's just coming up with random. He's just throwing out word salad.
Yeah, that's how it feels to me. It feels to me like because you're right. It is like the Hinduism, you know, like Ashura stuff, like because like, you know, all that stuff has been around him since the very beginning, that whole like realm of mythology and stuff. But it just feels like every time he does an attack, it's just a bunch of words, like just new words, you know, like it's never, it used to be so predictable with 36-pound Phoenix, like 180-pound Phoenix, 360. It was like, and there were other ones like Tiger Hunt, right? And like all these other ones that were like, yeah, he had a very predictable subset of attacks, and now it's just like whatever he wants. It's like it's a new attack every time, and I just, you know, I don't know.
Oda has just been unleashed because Wano happened.
Yes,
he's like, I'm gonna do a whole arc of Japan, and now Zoro is unleashed. Everything is Buddhism.
Yeah, I guess that has to be it. Like, I don't know it because I'm having a hard time pronouncing some of these.
Onigiri is good enough for the king of hell.
Well, here's my thing. Like, I am not a swordsman at all, and I'm not even going to pretend like I know anything about like samurai in general, like more than, you know, the One Piece stuff I know. But I'm just like, you know, Zoro just swings his swords in a slash. How many different ways is there to do that? You know what I'm saying? Like that, like when he had the 36, 180, 360-pound Phoenix, whatever, that was like, I guess, like more power behind it. So it made sense. Like, okay, he's still doing the same slash. It's just stronger. And I'm just like, now, like, how many different types of slashes you got, man? You know, like how, like that deserve their own names. Like,
yeah, because it's not like he's doing anything like Onigiri, like Tatsumaki, like Tiger Hunt. He's not using Ichir knee gorilla or anything like that. He's just going big move.
Exactly. The way you explained it is exactly it. It's just like, all right, here comes a big slash. Let me just throw a word salad out there, you know.
And the bad part. Oh, go on. Sorry.
I was gonna say, because sometimes it's cool, like against King when it's the final move and it's like the 103 mercies or whatever it was.
It
like,
was
okay,
cool
dope.
against Pika.
Yeah, like that. Those are the times to bring out a new attack name. Like when Zoro was flying through the air against Pika, like, okay, that's a good time to bring out a new name. Like, it was like what was it, like the Trilogism attack? I can't remember what the whole name of it was. But like, okay, that's a good time for a new attack name. Even against King when he's like, slicing through these lava dragons and stuff. It's like, okay, that I can understand a new attack name there, like a finisher. But this is just like he's just clashing with them and he gets a whole new attack. It's like, Zoro, are we gonna keep doing this? Like we don't have to do this every time.
And it's weird because I feel like in a weird way he's, well, other than somebody else, the one who's throwing him. See, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. But I think he's weirdly narratively stunted because look at Sanji and look at Luffy. There's a whole lot going on with both of them. Sanji's like a weird mutant freak.
Mm-hmm.
And then that can go anywhere Oda wants. And then Luffy, of course, is a mythical Zoan. So that literally can go anywhere Oda wants. But with Zoro, he's kind of stuck being man with sword in mouth. So you got to go like the hockey route. And it is what it is. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Zoro's just, I don't know. I will say I did love the next panel. Where on the next page with the Katetsu blade comment.
Yeah, both of them are like, what?
Yep. That was dope. It's like we already knew that pretty much. Like that was a very
if there is one character in the entire series that's going to have a Katetsu blade, it's Mihawk. But the second one is Gorosei.
Because we saw his hilt before, or like the guard of the sword, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
And it was the same as Zoro's Katetsu. So we had a good idea that was it. And just now to get that confirmation, I think is really dope. And what I think's cool is like, Zoro learning that he had a Katetsu, that like Nushiro has one, is cool and that matters. But I actually think that Nushiro realizing Zoro has one is even cooler. Like that's the better angle to this, because I think Nushiro, because like we all know, like, okay, the Gorosei are evil, probably hell related demons, whatever. Like they should have something like a cursed blade, of course. Like they're just evil, whatever, top
like
tiers.
Sandai, effectively.
Yeah. But for Nushiro to think about Zoro, like, whoa, like why did this sword choose you? Like that's probably what he's thinking, because cursed blades, their user dies most of the time, right? That was like the story we were told back in Logtown. And that's why Zoro like threw the blade up and had it like circle around his arm and see if it cut him or not. Like the sword chose him in that regard. And so I think Nushiro is like, what's up with you? You're like, why would this blade choose you of all people? And so I think this is going to be a point later on whenever they ultimately have their final battle, if they do.
And I know we've seen Nidai Katetsu. Have we ever seen Ichidai? Have you ever seen the 1-star Katetsu blade?
That's Nushiro's.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Because I found out, I was going with the same name scheme, Zakk, and I made that mistake in the video. It's actually called Shodai Katetsu.
Shodai? Okay.
I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, I thought it was going to be Ichidai too, but nope, it's Shodai Katetsu. What's interesting too is that Zoro uses 2-sword style, not 3-sword style. So he's fighting Nushiro with 2, I guess, cursed blades, because it's also Enma there. But I know Nushiro's probably not interested in Enma. But it's just interesting that. Go on.
I was like, because Enma's a cursed. The way I think of it is Enma's a cursed blade with a lowercase c, and then the Katetsus are an uppercase c, because like it wasn't said to be a cursed blade, but it definitely is a blade that is cursed. You know what I mean? Like it's pulling
the
your
difference
hockey.
Of him with lowercase and uppercase h.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly. Like it is cursed, but I don't think it's like in the classification of cursed swords, but. I mean, it should be. Like, I think the Katetsus and Law's swords are the only ones that are confirmed cursed so far.
I mean, Law's blade is cursed because it has a fur on the hilt.
Yo, actually, have you guys heard about the Law novel or like read anything from it?
The Law
novel. So yes, the Law.
Never heard of it.
No.
Yeah, so like just like the Ace novels that are in English, and there's even a manga version of it.
Yeah.
There's a Law novel. It just has not been translated yet, and people are like, including me, are very confused why that is the choice is being made.
We need more law.
Because it's a canon law book about him finding Beppo and Sachi and Penguin and everything that happened after the Doflamingo stuff.
I hope basically Horikoshi to draw it. That'd be cool.
And I found an English translation of it, and I'm halfway through, and I think I'm coming up on where he gets his where he gets the submarine. Maybe I'm taking a guess.
Oh,
and I wonder if we'll find out stuff about his sword at some point in that book. I'm like really pumped reading it right now.
You gotta give me the link, bro, because I would love to find out more about the submarine.
I will. Well, again, I'm taking a guess. I'll put it this way. Law, right after he, has the whole Doflamingo family thing and he escapes thanks to Corazon, whatever, he goes to Swallow Island, which is like a winter island. And long story short, he passes out and a guy finds him named Wolf, who is a really smart inventor. And he's like a super, not Vegapunk level genius, but like people in the town respect him a lot. And Wolf basically says, like, my experiments are so dangerous, I can't live in the town. I got to live out in the countryside. And so they have to like come to town every day, which is like a long journey because he doesn't want to be close. And so but we don't know what he's working on. That's like
One Piece soul right there.
I'm halfway through the book and we still don't know what like his experiments are about. We just know that he's doing them. And so, and we just had some really cool stuff happen. And so what I think is happening is Wolf is making a submarine. He's going to give it to Law. That's my guess. I'm not there yet, but he's an inventor. He really likes Law. He thinks of him like a son. I'm like, this is the perfect time for
this guy's definitely going to die, and with his last breath, give him the submarine.
Oh no!
In the event that just happened, I thought Wolf was going to die, and I was super angry going into it. So I'm like, there's no way this is where he goes out. But actually, Wolf did the exact opposite and cooked somebody. He like one-shotted a guy.
No.
And so that's why I think the submarine thing's about to happen, because I think he knows he might die eventually. Like people are out to get him. So I think he wants somebody else to get the submarine, I think. But again, we don't even know a submarine exists. I'm just taking the guess because what else? If you have Law and an inventor living together and he doesn't have the submarine yet,
then where is he getting the submarine?
Exactly. That's why I think that's where this is going. But
we're going to add inventor to Law's repertoire.
I mean, he's got to know how to work the thing. Well, also, I guess actually, you're actually right, because part of Law's job living there, like how he pays the rent basically to live at Wolf's house, is he has to help with the inventions.
Oh my goodness!
Oh no!
Yep.
So
what you're Law?
So what you're telling me is that in the current story, he's going to go back, find the wreckage of the Polar Tang,
and fix it.
And then he's going to replace parts of his own body with it, except his back because he can't reach.
Don't turn it break.
Wait, hold on. You actually just gave me a great idea. Real quick.
Oh, Lord.
So the Polar Tang sunk. Can't Law just make a giant room and shamble it back onto the surface so he can fix it?
Right, yeah.
And then he can probably use his powers to help him work on stuff too, I would imagine. Like if he makes a room around the submarine, he can just move pieces wherever he wants. So I bet you he is going to fix it.
So now Law is Douglas Bullet. Because Douglas Bullet also had a submarine.
Well, Laboon is a living submarine, so that's all I have to say about that.
Maybe Law and Douglas. Wait a minute, Douglas Bullet had a submarine?
Yeah, that's what he used to turn into a giant golem.
Another Roger pirate that built their entire life around living underwater? Interesting.
True.
Yeah, I mean, Crocus is with Laboon, like I said, who's also a submarine, right?
And then Rayleigh dedicated his life to learning how to coach ships to go underwater.
And now we got to wonder what Scopper Caban's doing.
And I have to, sorry, Molotov, no, in Twitch chat, Delfruit powers aren't stopped by the ocean. Delfruit powers can't work underwater. So yeah, but
and also just real quick in the anime, which is like, so Molotov, I wish that was the case, but any doubt I had about that was erased because in the anime they showed the full scene for the Prometheus saving Big Mom situation. because it looked in the manga like Prometheus just stopped Big Mom from falling into the water in general. But in the anime, which I know it's anime only, but I think at this point, like Oda's definitely giving an okay for some of these, extra additions.
Oda's been writing, what do you call it? Like storyboards for the anime.
Yeah, he's definitely giving him some pointers, and Prometheus goes into the water and saves Big Mom and comes out of the water. And remember, Prometheus is a fireball, which he should be dead. And so he's also, and not only is he a fireball, he's a fireball that's only alive because of devil fruit powers. And so the fact that he was able to go into the water and submerge himself and still get Big Mom and escape, I'm just, I don't know. Oda's going to do whatever the hell he feels like.
More importantly, Arlong Park.
Yeah, Luffy stretches under the water.
Right. Yeah. Because still being stretchy is one thing compared to you actively using the powers within the water. But if Law is standing above the water, I think his room would work in that regard. Well, actually, yeah, because he's roomed people from the submarine through the water to land, actually. So we actually know it does work for sure. He did that at the start of the Wano raid with the samurai.
Also, extra point. I mean, it doesn't matter. Oven also shot heat torpedoes under the water through Watazume.
True. Yep. Him warming the water up is also a good suggestion. I think the key is just if you're not in the water, then you're good.
Basically, yeah.
It's like the general idea.
But yeah, moving on. These ships are dope. But look how they're drawn. Goodness. But yeah. What is
Oda got one of his assistants to learn how to draw ships.
Yeah. We finished the clash too. Jinbei catches Zoro. Sanji's group is, I guess, on a giant ship, and then Luffy and co are making their way to said giant ship. And then we also see Vice Admiral Hound, who has done nothing. He's easily the worst one of the new Vice Admirals. I hate him now.
Done nothing.
Wait. Which one is Hound? I always get these confused. Is it the guy with the
glasses? I like the lipstick.
The guy right here who's saying sink that ancient ship of theirs?
Yeah.
Okay, got you.
No Dofru powers, no cool hockey. He's just there.
He's mid.
Very mid. Yeah, and then
more importantly, Bluegrass, baby!
Yeah! Oh, yeah. New giant pirates. I love the guy with the antler helmet. Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. New giant pirates are so good.
This is a treat. Look at them.
I like the giant with the tiny guns.
Yeah!
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious because I was like, why? If I was a giant, I would be swinging things or punching people. I wouldn't be using guns.
Well, those are literally just cannons from a regular ship.
That's so good. Oh, they are.
But I mean, it's still just
he just took them off of a ship and is firing them.
Couldn't you just throw the cannonballs at this point?
Yeah, but it's not as cool.
It's not as funny. I can agree with that for sure. Because I mean, just look at I don't know. Just his whole get up there is just funny. He's just pew pew.
Awesome.
The fat guy in the back is Soul. Look at him with the meat.
Oh yeah, the Lucky Roo.
Yeah,
of the ancient giant pirates.
Oh, he's precious.
Yeah, I love this scene because it really makes the ancient giant pirates or the old giant warrior pirates, whatever their real name is, it makes them feel so daunting. Imagine these people going around the world,
man.
Yeah, 100 years ago, dude, I can imagine the terror that people would feel when these guys showed up. It's just dang. Because, up to this point, I'm not going to lie, the Giants have been kind of mid overall. We hear about how scary the Giants are, but almost every time we see one, they either lose or get killed or are captured. Every time.
Yeah.
Little Garden, Mr. 3. I know he had a full plan and everything, but still, it doesn't matter. They got cooked by Mr. 3. Mother Carmel's flashback. They're locked up, about to get executed. She saves them and then takes Big Mom over to Elbaf and she kills one of the elders. And I'm just man, it feels like they just get cooked all the time. And
it's just the Marines.
And I'm glad to see him get a little bit of shine.
And then it was weird when Haruden got his entire body broken by Mach Vice. I did not like that.
Yep, and he also got one-shotted by Luffy.
Sure did. Oh no.
It's bad, dude. It's bad. It's funny, whenever I bring this topic up, every time what just happened is what happens, where I bring up a couple examples and then people just start listing off all the other ones I forgot, because there's like a million times where the Giants get like no diffed, and it's just like, dude, aren't these guys like the scariest living race or something?
This guy on the bottom holding up the Marine, just like pulling him out of the ship. It's like, oh, this is Cthulian.
Yeah.
This is horrifying.
Attack on Titan.
Yeah. I just love the fact that we have two boundless sources of jobbing kind clashing to see who is actually worse.
There's salt in the manga.
Finally, some good effing food.
But then, yes, Bluegrass, our girl, uses her ride fruit and blows a hole in the ship. Ah!
I love Bluegrass.
Sloppy. Go on.
Bluegrass was my least favorite vice admiral by a wide margin, only because of her fruit. Because I was just like, man, Oda, why would you do this? Why would you make someone who has the ride fruit, who could like obviously she hijacked the pacifista, now she's doing the CB. She could maybe do an ancient weapon. I don't know. I just did not like the randomness of it. But I gotta say, this line here, don't settle for being another face in the crowd, step up and be a star. That she earned a lot of points with that line. A lot of points.
It's weird how powerful this fruit is, because it's a better version than Tama's. It's a better version of Tama's, yeah. Go on.
It's a machine version of Tama's, basically, right? It's like
Tama's is different because Tama can do it at a wide scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. She can only do one at a time, but maybe she could cheat and, somehow.
Maybe her awakening is everything around her. Who knows?
No, see, you go get Law and you have him cut up Bluegrass into a bunch of different pieces and then put all the different pieces on different things, and she can control all of them.
Oh, wow. That's good, actually.
Or Awakening, to be honest. You could probably just touch it and she's good. But
Awakening.
But that's why I don't like her. That's why I didn't like. That's why I didn't like. I don't like this can of worms. Like, I'm sure Oda will do okay with it. When I saw the ride fruit and how she could she could control the pacifista and override the authority chip stuff, and I was just like, man, Oda, please just don't take her too far, please.
More importantly, this definitely takes some of the spotlight off of the greatest fruit of all time, held by my god king Kelly Funk. This is just a better jacket fruit. This is unbelievable.
Yep. Hey, people better not be sleeping on the jacket fruit.
It is low key kind of crazy.
But I mean, you do it on the right person.
True.
If you can manage.
But going on with Zakk?
I mean, on one hand, yeah, if you do it on the right person, but the right person is going to hockey his way out of all devil fruit powers, because that's a thing now.
Awakening, though.
Jacket World would be crazy.
Oh my, could you imagine?
Jacket World would be crazy.
That's a video. I'm making that.
Jacket World.
I wear the world. And then it's just Kelly fucking a Supreme jacket.
He wears the world and he just becomes a gigantic cosmic force.
Tacos, I love what you're saying down there. But the thing before with the ride fruit's like the millionth control fruit. That might be a better way of explaining how I feel about it, because we just have so many of these, and I'm just like, we already had the authority chip fiasco, and now we bring in a fruit that can control. I'm just like, okay, Oda, please let's just make us, make it simple.
I think the fact that she can only do it with one person at a time, completely balanced. So far. Yeah.
But if she goes and gets on like Pluton, or what if she like rides the Mother Flame? That's why I just don't like it. The potential options are so scary.
Worry about that.
If you had the jacket fruit and put the jacket fruit around the Mother Flame, what happened? Like, probably terrible things happen, I would imagine.
Speaking about vice admirals and a female not using a control power, we've got Resident Goth Doll. Yeah.
I love this. I just love this little sequence so much.
Same.
Bluegrass coming out, showing her stuff, immediately go into Dahl, and I'm gonna punch a hole in you. Yeah.
Oh.
And just like no diffs, one of the giants, like, and also the name Rock and Roll Blaster. That's just, I love it, man. That Oda cooked with this page. Well, you know, the bluegrass part, I don't know, but you know, the rest of it, like, and because Dahl obviously has like the, you know, rock and roll aesthetic. I don't know what
She's like punk
it's probably
rock,
a better, punk rock. There you go. So having her have a rock and roll attack right away, just, I don't know. I love simple stuff like that for some reason.
And my boy Kashi gets cooked. Poor Kashi. Bye-bye.
Yeah. And he's the one who's looking over the edge at the hole in the ship, right?
Yeah.
And then he he just gets clogged. The reason I really like this, though, because one of you guys mentioned this towards the beginning of the stream, but like the Marines like looking good, you know, like thank God, because that just never happens.
It's needed so badly.
Like the Giants looked good for a little bit, which was needed. Now the Marines look good, which was needed. So I was really happy with this.
And I've been talking about this a lot, but I think she's going to be like a premier Marine moving forward, given that she's the only known disciple of Saul that we know.
That's a good point.
She might be on Egghead, or not Egghead, on Elbath.
It'll be kind of interesting to have her have a talk with Robin. So you have like two women who've seen two different sides of one man.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But moving on. Who is this guy? Keep going. So what if they're freak giants? I don't know. I guess he's just around.
I don't like his hair.
Yeah.
I don't mess with the rat tail on the top of the head there.
No good.
No.
Warcree has gone missing. Go on, Zakk. What are you saying?
I'm just saying, this looks good for the Marines.
It does.
A good W for the Marines for once.
For once. And I forgot to mention, Kashi is going overboard. Apparently, he's falling off the ship.
Oh, he's cooked.
Yeah, he's cooked. He's done.
Unless we need something to fight all of these mechanized creatures that Bluegrass is getting. What if Sodom and Gomorrah show up, baby?
No, the King Bulls. No,
that'd be too much. But I want it.
Yeah, but Warcree is gone, and I love Luffy on top of Dory's head. This is so. Look at this.
That's good.
Yep. I bet you we're gonna get some cool like this scene here with Luffy working with the Giants. I bet you this is like we're gonna learn eventually that Joy Boy did a very similar thing where like he was friendly with the Giants and probably like he probably was a giant or maybe an ancient giant, some variation of giant people. And I think this is just like a sign that like Joy Boy was doing the same thing, like wreaking havoc with other giants with him. Like maybe not Elbath giants, maybe ancient giants or whatever, or maybe he just made his friends giant with his awakening or something. I don't know, but
funny.
That's possible. Blow all his friends up like balloons. And
could explain Zanisha.
Yeah. Let's give the
Zanisha is stretched.
Yeah. Yeah, and then the Gorosei minus Nojuro, who's still in the clouds, descend upon the Iron Giant.
This is a cool panel.
It's
dude.
So cool.
I like the ruggedness of it. Like it's not super clean. I think that makes it cooler because it's like so scary and daunting, right?
And like you said,
sometimes you got to let the brain do the heavy lifting.
Yeah.
Yeah. This was just such. This is like a thumbnail,
True. Mm-hmm. And like you said, Dak, a little earlier, base monsters who are, I guess, too associated with stars because the dragon was covered in stars because base themed and I guess Vegapunk themed,
mm-hmm.
and planets can be considered, I guess, star-like from a distance. So yeah, we have space star monsters descending upon a giant robot with a jetpack. So yeah, good parallel, bro.
Yep, I've been waiting on this, and here's the thing: I think that the robot. Well, we already know the robot uses like the ancient power source, right? That Vegapunk couldn't figure out, And I am betting that the giant is going to give lasting damage to one of the Gorosei using that power source. And then that's going to tell us that's how we hurt them. Because remember with the holograms, Atlas brought out the photonic gloves right after we learned that, like, you know, Luffy couldn't hurt them. Then she's like, oh, well, you need this. And so I think it's going to be the same thing. That, like, we're going to find, like, Luffy's going to see the robot do some lasting damage and he's going to be like, oh, so that's how you do it. And then we're going to leave. And, you know, he's going to figure it out slowly.
I like that because I think from my memory, I think the only one without a scar might be Mars, but I'm not sure. Because, like, okay, the pig has a birthmark.
Yep.
Saturn has a scar. And then Jupiter has a scar on his chest, if I recall. So I think...
Yeah, he at least has it on his face in this form, in this worm form.
So I think it's Nazura. I don't think Nazura has a scar, and I don't think Mars has a scar.
At least that we know of, yeah.
Yeah, so it would be cool if he put the hands on
Mars, I guess.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, that'd be kind of cool. Actually, that would make a lot of sense because... like if out of all these Gorosei, the one that could chase the Straw Hats over the ocean is Mars because he can fly. Yeah, exactly. So getting him out of the sky would make a lot of sense. Like shoot him with a laser. Yeah, I like that.
And then Vegapunk is about to ruin One Piece. I don't know where this Asian town is. It's like Japanese inspired place or perhaps Chinese inspired place. I don't know.
It's Long Arms, isn't it?
No, well, it could be the same place. It's not the Long Arm District. We saw that last chapter.
Oh, okay.
Like they're in a grotto.
I don't know.
Honestly, that looks a little bit more like Native American, maybe.
Possibly.
The islands have like bull horns on the top of each building. Sorry, of each house. They have like bull horns, or I guess. Like Oni horns, whatever you want to call it. So I don't know if that maybe is a hint in some way.
It's big and mountainous too. I don't know.
Oh yeah, tacos. Yeah, Venus. Oh, Venus. Which one is Venus? Venus is
That's Nostro.
Okay, yeah, right. I said that already. Yeah, Venus also.
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, and Mars actually starts to shake and says, "What is that?" And he's talking about the Iron Giant. Yeah. But this is confirmation because we knew this, but it's nice that they know this now. That's the giant. It's the Iron Giant from 200 years ago.
They made the connection. Yep. Well, so this also, I guess, tells us that the Gorosei are at least 200 years old, which, like, I think a lot of us already assume they're, from the Void Century, like they're immortal and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I love when we get little mentions like this. It's like, okay, so you were around back then, huh?
Exactly. It makes theories true and kind of connects the dots of what you were already thinking. I like that
because back then they said like the Gorosei or the world government or whatever told the scientists to get rid of that robot and Vegapunk didn't, or like the scientists didn't, and it ended up on Egghead where Vegapunk then studied it and stuff.
True.
And so I just think it's interesting because he just realized like, okay, so that was never destroyed, and we thought it was, and it's just. I don't know. I want to see where that goes in his own mind, kind of.
Yeah, and then now Vegapunk is about to ruin One Piece. Those of you who carry the initial, the letter D in your name, and then that's when all the Kaijus make a mad dash for the robot.
Mm-hmm.
But then we get a cutaway of Dragon saying a whole paragraph of very important information.
That's
instead of single ellipses.
Dragon knows a secret language of some kind that only he speaks, apparently. I was making this joke, but whenever Dragon shows up in person, all he's going to say is ... Like, he's going to finally pull up and save the day, and he's just not going to say anything. He's going to leave. And then he's going to go fight a Kainu, and the entire fight's going to be ... Every time they look at each other, that's what it's going to be.
I guess that's what the tattoo means, because you can take the tattoo as ...
Yeah, that is what it means.
It's going to be, once again, a battle of minds, just like Raizo versus the Ninja Master.
Fukurokujo.
Yeah, Fukurokujo.
How don't you remember his name, man? It's such an easy name to say.
You're right.
But yeah,
Rokojo, whatever it is.
But yeah, Sabo mentions Ace and Luffy. Cabo, yeah, that's his name now. Cabo. Kobe mentions Luffy and Garp. We got Blackbeard, which that's the one I'm interested in. Blackbeard, here's the message. Mm-hmm. Ooh. But then Beppo says Law because, he's not dead. Yep. But yeah. But I love that Blackbeard's hearing it. Ooh, I love that a lot. Oh, yeah.
I love that. But I love the Beppo even more because that means that him and Law got to land.
True.
And I don't know where they're at because he didn't draw a background.
Yeah. You got the anime speed lines in the back.
Yeah, all of them do.
Oh, yeah, true. Oh, well, I didn't know that.
But different angles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when we get to the robot getting back up and Vegapunk resumes his speech, where are we going to be at? I know that was a crazy thing I just said, but you're going to have to believe me.
Huh.
Because this ain't the end of the speech.
Oh. Ooh.
Vegapunk hasn't said anything to end the speech where it'll show Egghead and go Dawn. The speech ain't over.
You think the snail inside... Also, while I'm talking about the snail, I think that's what he was doing at the start of Egghead, putting the snail inside the robot. But he warped inside of it. Mm-hmm. But I wonder if the snail... This is dumb. What if the snail has enough will to combat the Conqueror Saki and he gets back up?
See, that's kind of my issue with this is it's like the Iron Giant just got knocked over and the message stopped. And it's like that. Did the snail die? You know what I mean? Because they've been walking around with Conqueror's Haki this entire time trying to they've been knocking out snails for the last couple chapters, just walking around with Conqueror's Haki. And so obviously it's the physical impact here that, actually did it. I'm sure there's Conqueror's Haki involved in the attack also, but I'm just confused why the Giant's not broken or dead. You know what I'm saying? The Giant's going to get back up. I'm very sure of that. And so I'm just curious why that is, why that ended it.
Knocked the snail around a little bit.
Yeah, it's just I was just hoping that the Giant would get vaporized. You know what I mean? This just seems like such a silly way to end it because it's the Giant's not dead, but I don't know. Well, I'm sure Oda will make it, make more sense later, but in my mind the snail should be okay, I guess is what I'm thinking. It should just be frazzled, but just get up right, just like the Giant gets up, the snail should be okay probably.
The Giant's gonna get up and we're gonna put Kuma's memories in it.
Oh Lord. Shout out to Hip Hop Rocker on TikTok who said, what if Vegapunk just erased that part of the message beforehand? I don't think that's the case. I think you
oh my God.
It has to, because he hasn't said anything. I mean, saying the world is going to flood was a big part of the message, but I think the D thing is a meme, and I use meme very loosely. I'm being very tongue-in-cheek. But that's a meme that's kind of gone on long enough, and we're kind of at the point of which we're starting to get answers in the narrative. So I think the Giant's going to do his best Iron Giant impression, say Superman, get up, and the message will continue. I'm kind of with Dak. I know,
but yeah,
I think that the thing that I'm waiting for is for Robin to chime in because like Rayleigh kind of said last chapter, this is the young people's moment. You know what I mean? Like Vegapunk, you're spoiling everything. This is the young people's secret to uncover and whatever. And so, and also in addition to that, if Robin just went and gave an announcement to the world today, tomorrow, next week, etc., nobody would trust her because she's the demon child. She's a pirate in general, a very wanted one, almost a billion-berry bounty, all that kind of stuff. And so if she went out and just told the world hey, all this crazy stuff's true and the government's bad, they'd be why would we trust you at all? Right. That's a big reason why Vegapunk had to start this.
Right.
And so I think for it to then end, maybe the call or the broadcast is over because the snail got knocked out. But what if Robin is somehow able to pick it back up and keep talking? And she finishes it, and that not only does she get to have a moment there, but it also makes the world trust Robin a little bit, right? Because they're oh, well, if she's with Vegapunk and talking about the same stuff, and she knows the same things as our beloved Vegapunk, then maybe we should listen to her, you know? So I'm waiting for Robin to chime in, and maybe the Ancient Kingdom name is what I want to get out of this, but...
I want any answers from the world's smartest man. Is that too much to ask, Oda?
Also, counterpoint, it may not be Robin who does the secret of D. It might be Law, because we find out that's kind of Law's mission after Wano.
Yeah, I mean, I could see that. The thing with Law is like his goal is to find it out, but not necessarily like uncover it for the world. Like, not that, like, I don't think Robin's necessarily said like, I want to tell the whole world this thing. She also just wants to uncover it. But I just feel like Robin's role in the story is to let the world know the truth. You know what I mean? Like, to uncover it, and where Law is kind of just, I'm doing my own thing. And so I can't see Law, I guess, getting on a mic and talking to the world, I guess is what I'm saying. But it would be cool. Like, that is Law's MO. And they did talk about it in Wano, right? Him and Robin.
I do like that Vivi's reacting to the D announcement, because she is one.
Mm-hmm. And she doesn't know it yet.
Yeah. Is she the only female D that we have that's alive?
That's alive? So I was going to say Porcus D. Rouge, but obviously.
Yeah. Do we know for a fact that Vivi is a D?
Yes.
Yes, because of Lily.
Well, is everyone in that family a D?
Yes.
Yeah. Whenever Cobra was dying, or, well, about whatever, you know, his final words, he said, like, Sabo, can you please go tell a message to Luffy and Vivi? We all share the initial D.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, that she is the only living D clan member that we're aware of.
That's a female.
Yeah, it's a female. Yeah, sorry.
That's crazy.
It's female.
But yeah, they think the signal got jammed, and York is relieved because her meal ticket is saved.
She's about to get super betrayed.
Oh yeah, no. Either she gets betrayed or she gets picked up. Or both, I think. Because I have had a going theory that she's going to get picked up by Blackbeard. Or like, not Blackbeard himself, but like Van Algren and Caribou on the island, because they haven't left yet.
Who? Vivi?
No, York.
York.
Oh yeah. I'm big on York going to Blackbeard for sure.
Yes.
It's just so the one thing that maybe throws a little bit of a wrench is that Katarina Devon copied Saturn's form, and so that might let them control the Seraphim, right? Which I think was like the main reason I wanted York with Blackbeard, so they would have a way to control and maybe make more Seraphim. But even with that, I think they would still want York because it's like like I said, they can make more of them. So if they need more fruits and like green blood, right, to use in the Seraphim, then she would be the one who could do that. And also, like, I don't know if Blackbeard really wants like Katarina Devon being the only one who can control them. Like, I'm sure he trusts her on some level, but they're also, you know, all scummy people. And so I'm imagining he wants a way to control them himself. And so maybe York can make like new Seraphim that only listen to Blackbeard or something like that. Yeah. So there's just a lot there. And if he goes and sells Garp for the 3 billion of the Cross Guild, so he can give 3 billion to York to build stuff, like that is so exciting for me.
That is 100% going to start a war between Blackbeard and Cross Guild.
It's so cool.
Ain't no way Cross Guild is paying out for 3 billion.
Oh, I don't know. I think they are. I think they would happily do it.
Buggy's going to be like, I did not expect anyone to claim that.
Well, Croc's the one who set it up, and he's got the money. And I don't think he's going to be like, if Blackbeard pulls up and says, hey, I heard you had this thing going on where I can exchange Marines for money. Here's one worth 3 billion. Croc has to give him the money or he's dead. You know, like Blackbeard's not with Blackbeard. If he doesn't give the money willingly, Blackbeard will just take it. So I think he's going to have no choice because it's Blackbeard. Like, maybe that is their plan to like not ever pay out the 3 billion. Like, that might have been their, you know, because they're just trying to like sow some discord in the world. Right.
Yeah.
Like they want the Marines to be a little bit scared, and like maybe less people will sign up to be Marines and stuff. So like there's just the forces are lower. But I just think if Blackbeard pulls
less
up,
Marines.
Yeah. I mean, that, you know, like, I kind of love it because Cross Guild's making Marines be kind of wishy-washy on joining because it's so dangerous. And then you have Vegapunk now making the world not really believe in the government anymore. And then you got there's just like and the Revolutionary Army affecting like the supply chain, so the government doesn't have the normal amount of resources they usually have. I love how Oda is attacking the government from like behind the scenes in different ways, if that makes sense. Like it's not just a straight up fight, it's a battle of resources, like in supplies and supply chains. And I think that's so smart, because that is unfortunately a lot of how war is. A lot of real life war is people fighting on the front lines and like shooting each other and all that kind of stuff, which is super sad, obviously. But most war, like a lot of the things, like the big tactics that end up working is like when you starve the whole population or you cut off water access to the whole population, then they have no choice but to give in, right?
War doesn't end until you deplete their will to fight.
Exactly. And that's what they're doing with the Marines and government. Like, let's make all their other like the Gorosei and Emu are always going to be there, but everything else around it is getting tested, Even Kizaru, one of the admirals, is getting, he's definitely feeling some type of way about what's going on. So
I just killed my best friend.
I killed
both of them.
And nephew. That was sad with Cinemaru. That's crazy. He tried so hard too. Shout out to Cinemaru. He tried so hard.
He did. So what do you guys think is the Mo here, by the way? The MO?
I think it's either it's a traitor amongst the D clan or a king amongst the D clan. That's what I'm going with.
Yeah, I mean, I think like if I had to put my tinfoil hat on for like what exactly the word is there, like because it could be also, so the MO might not even matter by the end of this, might be something else entirely. But if I were to act like the MO is accurate, and so I need to think of MO words, I think mole is a really good one, not because of Pluton, but because mole is also another word for traitor.
True.
And so it could be like, among you, there is a mole in your group, right? There's a fake D, like that could be what he's about to say. So I agree with you there. And then I actually agree with your other point too about the king, because I think the other one that makes sense is among you, there is Monkey D. Luffy, the man who carries the will of Joy Boy, or he's the next coming of Joy Boy, and he's going to save the world from everything I just said.
Or
right?
Monarch.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. It's tough for me because Luffy, I know, won't like that, which I know like that only matters so much. But I just think like Nika and Joy Boy and probably the Ancient Kingdom wouldn't speak of them that way, like the Joy Boy. You know what I mean? Like they would call him just like maybe a savior.
Yeah, like I don't think it's going to be an English word unless it's Monkey D. Luffy, but I doubt that's going to be it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Japanese letter of Mo. It's not the English Mo. Because in the
go on.
Well, it could be it's hiragana, right? Instead of like katakana or whatever, like which Oda doesn't use that a lot. And so it could be a word that starts with MO, or it could be like also or whatever, but like that symbol does mean MO, so it very well could be, but like I think we should be thinking MO words. I think that's like the safe angle to take here for now. But because like Oda, I'm just putting myself in the shoes of like a Japanese kid who's picking this up and isn't a big theorizer. I'm just reading it, and like Oda's going to try making the mystery understandable. And I'm imagining that they're going to see that and they're supposed to think MO words. And so like maybe Oda could mislead it, but I just think that's what he's setting up is like, it's going to start with that sound at least. Right. So I don't know.
Shout out to Koderick on Twitch chat because they mentioned Mogura is a mole though. So Mogura also starts with MO. Going back to the mole. Well, yeah.
Yep. But I mean but that's the thing with the MO is like Mogura. Like Mogura is the English version of the Japanese word. You know what I'm like?
Yeah.
I guess what I'm saying is it could be any word that it starts with MO. Like I just, Oda's always very like, I don't know what the right word is here. Just his translation, like whenever he did the man marked by flames, there was like a combination of like kanji and katakana there that is like super uncommon. Like he never writes that way. So Oda loves to like mess with us with like the symbols he's picking.
Yeah.
And he likes to really throw us off. But I assume he's heading for a Mo sound.
I think at the very least, I think that when we get the Viz translation, it will be very telling on what they decide to use, whether it's Mo or whether he says also. Because that's one of the things that they say, that Mo could be the particle for as well as.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Which to me, I mean, that's definitely a possibility just because, like, you know, I mean, if objectively it is, but I feel like Oda wouldn't make the first, like, he wouldn't throw us off that much. Like, he wouldn't put us on a big rat race. Like, if it was just saying also, like among you, there is also, then it gets cut off. I think he would have just made that more clear. You know what I mean? Like, he would have just made also, like, in the first box, like where it says among you, there is. Like, that would be like a...
Well, that's just how the Japanese language is kind of structured.
Right. I'm just saying, but I mean, well, if the sentence is supposed to say among you, there is also something. I mean, I'm just saying that, like, Oda wouldn't... I think Oda would make it very clear. Like, this is supposed to read as if he's starting a word. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what we're supposed to feel. It does
feel like that.
Yeah. And so I don't think he would do that, because that'd be so anticlimactic, especially on a big cliffhanger like this. So I think he did that so we'd be theorizing, you know, for the next week.
But thankfully there is no chapter. I mean, there's no break next week. There is a chapter next week. Ooh. Yeah. Oh boy.
Yep.
This was excellent, brother. I guess, man, do we have any more?
Escape chapters are always my favorite. I love this nonsense.
They're always good. Well, Dak or Zakk, anything else we want to say?
I'm excited for the next. I'm excited for the next couple chapters, man.
W chapter, good chapter.
Yeah, this was a really good one. I'd probably give this like an 8 out of 10, which is, I mean, that's a good rating. You know, I don't give 10s often unless Foxy or Laboon is in the chapter. But this was really good, and you know, this is we've had a lot of chapters like this where it's good, and I'm really excited, but I know that this is a setup for something even greater. So I'm kind of like just ready to read the next one already, you know, because I don't know, like us even theorizing about the MO thing. I mean, that's fun and there's a lot of good ideas, but I'm just like, I don't know. We're probably not going to get to a theory that we all like agree on. You know what I mean? Like we're all kind of dancing around the same couple ideas. So I just want to see what this is. Like Oda just kind of, you know, blue balled us a little bit, but I don't know. We get chapter next week. So
the most important theory this week is Creek Bros. Are we alive? That's the most important thing that we should be discussing all next week.
Yeah. I've been waiting for Geen to return. So maybe it's just me being scared to accept it. But I want to get confirmation that that's him before I let my full excitement out, you know, because that's a weird way to do it. But
that is some sort of way to introduce Geen back into the story after making us wait 27 years.
And it doesn't even look like him. It's not acknowledged, but it's supposed to be him. Like that feels weird to me, but
it's Don Krieg and oh man. Who's the mountain bandit?
Higuma.
It's Don Krieg and Higuma.
Oh Lord. Well, Dak, would you be so kind to plug all your socials so people can find you?
Yes, sir. So I'm do most of my work on YouTube, so you can go find me there at Dak Sake, Daks Sake. I do a lot of theories, and I react to chapters every time we have one, so you can definitely find me over there, and I'm pretty active. I just did a video about Impel Down and how Marco's going to save Weevil and all this stuff, and that one did really well, and it seemed like people liked it, so I definitely recommend that. But my next video that I am super, super excited about is about Lodestar Island. Ooh. And about why we need to go there, even though we know about the poneglyphs, what Roger actually found there back in the day, because we know he found out about the poneglyphs, but what exactly told him that information? Because like he couldn't read the poneglyphs, so it had to be something else. Like, was there just like a message written in the vernacular? Is there like a living person telling him this information? Like how did he learn all that stuff? And there's a couple other mysteries. Maybe Scopper Gaban might make an appearance. So
I just hope that Lodestar Island is Texas. I need the American wino so bad.
That's good.
I like that a little bit. It's like a Wild West kind of deal. I like that a lot. Actually,
every single American folktale in one area, I would go crazy like the Japanese went for wano. I would go insane. I would love it.
Also,
that would be cool.
You mentioned you had a second channel. You want to plug that as well, or?
Oh yeah. So man, I appreciate you. I forgot to even mention my own second channel. So I have a second channel too called Redacted. So just like you would normally spell it, but with a K instead of a C. If you guys get the joke there.
Yeah.
And I've done a lot of different kinds of content, and it's probably going to keep evolving. But right now I've been doing these basically podcast style discussion formats. It's kind of like what we just did here, but I usually pick a topic. Like I just did one with Randy Troy, and we talked about the Cross Guild, our expectations for the future of it, who's going to join, all that kind of stuff. I did one about like rocks, and just like we talked about who he was, what kind of powers he had, what his journey was like before God Valley and stuff. And I did that with Hidden Island. So I keep doing videos like that are more focused, but they're really long and just kind of open ended. So if you like those or just want something to listen to in the background, I would really appreciate you checking that out. Those videos have been doing better than ever over the last couple weeks. So it seems like people are liking them. So, appreciate you guys checking it out.
Would love to be a guest on that.
Hey, for sure. For sure. Once I'm trying to get like a schedule and I'm trying to do one at least once a week and trying to get a schedule and like ones that make sense. Like I want to talk to Randy about the Cross Guild because that's like his number one thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm trying to like make a schedule of like different topics and then pick the people that make the most sense for those topics. So we'll get you on there for sure.
Thanks, bruh. And thank you for coming on. You are an excellent guest.
Oh, man, thank you. You guys were excellent hosts. Everyone watching, especially if you're from my community and you came and check these guys out, definitely make sure you follow or subscribe or whatever it's called on TikTok, because I have not messed with TikTok too much, but definitely keep checking these guys' content out. I've known Polypede for quite a while. I think I said the name right that time.
Yes.
Makes a lot of great theories. I feel like you and I have been every time there's like a big group stream, we're both in there usually. And you always say a couple things. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe we should talk about that theory, here or there. So I'm really glad we got to chat here today. So everyone please subscribe to them for sure.
And while you're on the various social networks subscribing, I think you should go to Reddit Sephiroth on YouTube and Pinball PA on TikTok and give Zakk a follow and a subscribe.
Big facts.
Going absolutely crazy on the TikTok. I'm at like 1,500 followers already.
Yo!
Doing this for like 3 months.
Hey, there you go.
Good stuff, bro.
I don't use TikTok a whole lot, but I know if I were to translate those numbers over to any other platform, that'd be pretty solid. So that's good, nice. Man. That's big time. Yeah.
So, and while you're at it, I suppose you should go and subscribe to this channel, Polyp Works. Subscribe everywhere.
Just go subscribe. Whatever you do.
Subscribe. Subscribe to PewDiePie. I don't know. Is that still a meme?
And then,
I was just say real quick, and I just want to say thank you to all the viewers. Also, there was a lot of good action in the chat here. That some I tried responding to, and some we did, some I wanted to get to and couldn't. But I just want to say you guys were great. Thank you guys for real.
Thank you all so much for coming through. This is one of our biggest streams, and since it gets left out all the time, even though this is the title of the podcast, subscribe to Rose Skull Podcast. We never do it. Subscribe.
And for the love of God. We've had like 1 million people in this chat today. Not a single person followed. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? Hit that follow button.
Please. But
get us in that algorithm, brothers.
Yes. But yeah, thank you again, Dak. You have been our biggest guest on this program, and I appreciate you coming. It was a great time.
Oh, it's the same here, man. My pleasure. No, you guys were awesome. This was it doesn't even feel like 2 hours went by. So
oh no, this flew.
Yeah, so this was great. Thank you guys. And again, thank you, chat, for just being, involved in everything. It's awesome.
Well, the bar is open, boys.
Don't be dodgy. And we'll see you in the next one.
Bye, guys.